Yule.
Ke te iwi o Ngāti Kahungunu, tēnā koutou. To all the people of Ngāti Kahungunu, greetings. Ki ngā hapu whānui o Hiratonga, tēnā koutou. To all the hapu of Hiratonga, greetings. Ki ngā kāmatua o Hiratonga, tēnā koutou. To all the elders and leadings of Hiratonga, greetings. Kia ora mau, te aroha, me te manaki ki a mō rira rau nā. Thank you for the love and support you have given me over the years. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Mr. Speaker, it is a tremendous honour to speak for the first time at the beginning of the 52nd Parliament. It is a privilege to represent the people of Tukituki in this House, and I thank them for voting and bringing me here. Mr. Speaker, I acknowledge you and congratulate you on your appointment, as I acknowledge the appointment of former Hawke's Bay resident, the Honourable Anne Tolley, as Deputy Speaker, and other presiding officers. I acknowledge all leaders of this House and all political parties and respect their seniority and mana. Congratulations to the Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Jacinda Ardern, Deputy Prime Minister, the Honourable Winston Peters, and to all ministers. I acknowledge the Right Honourable Bill English and the Honourable Paula Bennett as Leader and Deputy Leader of the National Party. On behalf of all of us National MPs, I wish to thank both of you for your outstanding performance across the nation in the recent election campaign. I am incredibly proud to be elected as the National MP, and I thank you both for your time in Tukituki during that campaign. I acknowledge Party President Peter Goodfellow, the Board and the National Party staff led by Greg Hamilton. I offer a particular vote of thanks to Central Regional Chair Bernard Cleary for his support, advice and personal help. It is an honour also to join my fellow Hawke's Bay MPs, the Honourable Stuart Nash and the Honourable Meka Whaitiri also, who, although across the political divide, I regard as friends after working with them for many years on many issues. I also welcome the opportunity and the working relationship with my National Wairarapa colleague, Alistair Scott, as we work together to help the people of Central Hawke's Bay. I acknowledge and thank my predecessor, the Honourable Craig Foss, for his dedication and commitment to the people of Tukituki. And whether they're watching or not, I also greet our community leaders in Hawke's Bay Regional Council Chair Rex Graham, Hastings Acting Mayor Sandra Hazelhurst, and Central Hawke's Bay Mayor Alex Walker. Honourable members, can I also thank you for the courtesy already shown to me by many of you of this House, whom I've worked with in my former role as President of Local Government New Zealand. I look forward to these respectful relationships continuing. As the Member of Parliament for Tukituki, I want to share a little about myself. I'm married to a wonderful wife, Karen, who's with me today, whom I love and who has been a tower of strength since we met and was a superstar in this campaign. Mr. Speaker, I put it to you that not many wives or husbands or partners in this chamber would actually enjoy door knocking. She does, and thank you for it. I am a father of 4 wonderful adult children from a previous marriage who are doing incredibly well. Emma, Thomas, Henry and Charles continue to give me a huge sense of pride with their achievements and success in life. I love them and acknowledge them. And I also thank their mother for what she did in bringing them to this world. My mum, who's in the gallery, and my late father gave myself and my siblings an idyllic life, surrounded with love in a Christian household. We never wanted for anything, but we had modest means. My brother Andrew and sister Jeanette have both been a supportive part of my nuclear family, and as siblings, we've all supported each other through life's rough patches. I thank Kieran's parents, although they are unable to be here today, for their love and support, complete with a free-flowing political advice and a bit of alcohol to boot. My dearest friend Michael Hindmarsh and Peter Royal have sorted all my political campaigns and are hoarding professionals to die for. They have heard on countless occasions that this would be my last time, probably about 5, and when this campaign started, they stuck with me again, only the task was 100% larger. We met through Board of Trustees elections at Sheridan School, and they have been my friends and lifelong friends ever since. To Trevor Helson, Tukituki electorate and campaign chair, who sits with us today, thank you for a full-time voluntary role during the campaign. You were supported by a wonderful and energetic team, and we achieved a wonderful result. Thank you to all of you who have continued to support me today, helped during the campaign, and for those that helped financially. Members, I am proud to say I represent the people of Hastings, Flaxmere, Havelock North, Whakatū, Clive, Hamoana, Otani, Onga Onga, Tikakino, and the Heratonga and Ruatawhata Plains, and rural hinterland places, the likes of Otamari, where I was brought up. I also represent the people of Ngāti Kahungunu, more than 25 maraes, and I specifically acknowledge my good friend Ngāti Kahungunu Chair, Ngāhiwi Tamona, and his wife Mary. I thank the Honourable Chris Finlayson for the great work in settling all the claims in the areas I represent. We are in a post-settlement positive mode now, and the benefits are quickly flowing with investments and confidence. Mr Speaker, it is no accident I am here. As my father was a political and National Party stalwart and supported former Speaker of the House Sir Richard Harrison and Waikato Moana MP, the Honourable Roger Macleay. From the earliest of memories, I can remember him always being at meetings and the rituals of election night parties. They weren't raucous affairs, but full of stern study, opinion, predictions, and either elation or gloom. The gloom quickly subsided, however, as planning began for the next 3 years, just exactly what this side of the House has already done. There is a certain tinge of sadness knowing that he died too young to see me enter this House. He would, however, be very proud. Mr Speaker, I come here as the oldest member of the national class of 2017. I prefer the nickname Uncle than Dad, but what a great group of national MPs I have joined. And I also acknowledge Nicola Willis, who I'm very hopeful will join us very shortly. We've all come here to make a difference to a positive New Zealand. While I've been a Mayor of Hastings, President of Local Government New Zealand and Chair of the Commonwealth Local Government Forum, I start this new journey with great optimism for both a change in the environment and for New Zealand. I've been out of National Party politics for decades, but I am excited to rejoin. Unlike many, I am fortunate to have enjoyed a good life. I still have good health. I've come from a loving, stable family. I have a university education, and I've had an enjoyable career. Despite this, though, my work, my faith and my Christian upbringing has shown me that many people are not so fortunate. I enter this place to make a difference for those who have not enjoyed what I have. I enter this Parliament to improve things for the many people, my people and all of New Zealanders. I do so, however, from a philosophical viewpoint that we need to empower people to succeed, not fund them to do so. I also have a fundamental mantra that people can spend their own money more efficiently than any form of government, whether it's central or local. This does not mean I do not support the state or local councils as collective ways of doing things more efficiently. I support both, but we should always remember that neither actually has any money. The money and support people receive in health, education or welfare is our money. As we ration services or build infrastructure, we should constantly assess what makes sense, even if the approaches need to be very different from the past. My life has been a journey made all the richer for my growing understanding of what is important to Māori. In the last 20 years, I've grown huge respect for the long-term relationship-driven perspective that comes from our treaty partners. I've learned a great deal about patience, the very real understanding of land, water and cultural assets. New Zealand is a blessed nation at the bottom of the Pacific, surrounded by a pristine ocean. We enjoy a quality of life that is the envy of the world. I'm incredibly optimistic about our future, and the issues we face are all solvable. We punch well beyond our weight on the global stage, and in relative terms, our poorest are well supported. I joined the National Party because I believe in free enterprise, rewarding hard work and risk, and in personal responsibility. A strong economy gives us options to address challenges. We need to constantly remind ourselves that our wealth is created by what we export, whether it is food, wine, manufactured product, or intellectual property. There is no free lunch, and as a nation we have to earn it before we can spend it. Every effort should be made to support our export base. Mr. Speaker, I have come to this House to try to make a difference in the following areas. Firstly, the home and the family. The work done by the Right Honourable Sir John Key and the Right Honourable Bill English's last government, and outlined by the new government in a speech from the throne, is to be applauded. Both sides of this House want better for our families in health, housing and education, for those that are most vulnerable. The real difference is in the how. We do, however, have an ingrained level of poverty that is hard to fix. In my view, most of this stems from a lack of work and low incomes. This leads to boredom, a lack of motivation, often the abuse of alcohol and drugs, and a slow unwinding away from productive society. A loving family can do so much, but only so much if there isn't enough money to cover the basics. In Hastings, the most living recent example of that was the closure of the Whakatū and Timona freezing works. 4,000 people lost their jobs over an 8-year period, and we are only just recovering. Recently, for the first time in decades, I can see the opportunity for our young people in the region. The economy in Hawke's Bay has never been so good. We cannot squander this opportunity, and we need to back the next generation into work, to challenges, to skills and life experiences, and we need to take some risk. Two recent phenomena are adding to the new challenge in many homes: the proliferation of P and the dramatic increase in reported domestic violence impacts on thousands of women and vulnerable children. I am appalled that in Hawke's Bay, police were called to over 6,000 domestic violence cases last year, one of the highest rates in the country. It is great that it's being reported, but sobering in scale. We will not arrest our way out of this, and it requires an attitudinal and home-based shift. Equally, methamphetamine is a scourge of society like I have not witnessed before. Its availability, widespread use and mind-altering behaviour is fundamentally damaging families. Mr. Speaker, we can have conversations around cannabis and legalisation of it, but we must take a much stronger stance on P. It is a drug on its own, and its impact on health stats is not even measured in many parts of New Zealand. In simple terms, I want it gone from society. Mr. Speaker, I am a strong believer in climate change, and from international travel know that we are well placed to manage it. Our deep blue ocean surrounds will temper its impacts on New Zealand, but not entirely. It is my simple view that the sooner we take action, the better we will support future generations. Mr. Speaker, I have watched the painful Ruataniwha Dam project come to its knees. And while some members of this House will be pleased about this outcome, I strongly caution members that doing nothing is not an option. Climate change will have a profound impact on water distribution on the eastern edge of New Zealand, and water storage of winter flows will be vital to support production in areas such as Canterbury and the Heritonga and Ruataniwha Plains. Unfortunately, many New Zealanders have formed the view that irrigation and water storage is a bad thing. In reality, the real issue is around nutrient pollution. I would encourage members of this House to take a long-term view about water storage. There will be no escaping from it in the long term. I'm also a strong advocate for the environment, but from a pragmatic perspective. I have watched people's anxiety around the state of the environment increase. I've watched a largely urban electorate show less and less tolerance to our rural friends. So while we are quick to point to cows wading in a lake in the South Island on a hot summer's day, or shots of pollution in rivers, the bulk of urban pollution goes unnoticed. Our urban estuarine environments are being polluted by rubber, tyres, brake linings and heavy metals. All these things are difficult to fix, are expensive and will take a long time. These challenges are for urban and rural people alike. In closing, Mr. Speaker, it's also important that this House is also aware that the good people of Tukituki are looking for some government support for some projects. And I particularly put this to the Labor side, now that you're in charge. A new main hospital block for the Fallen Soldiers Memorial Hospital in Hastings is likely to cost between 150 and 200 million. There was a promise before this election for the four-laning of the Napier-Hastings Expressway, and there needs to be assistance given where possible to dealing with the three water issues in Central Hawke's Bay. And as has been identified in this campaign, an assessment and possible construction of a new school in Havelock North. Mr. Speaker, in closing, I am incredibly grateful to the people of Tukituki for placing me in this chamber. I will represent them with all my knowledge, skill and humbleness. Mr. Speaker, I have a faith and stand by my Christian values of honesty, tolerance, love and care for human beings. To this end, I am completely accepting of gender diversity, racial diversity, culture and sexual orientation. I enter this Parliament comfortable in my own skin, confident in my ability to deliver for Tukituki, with an open mind to listen to others. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa.
Order.